6-7. Here's your host, Garrett Paul Parrish.
Watching the world wake up from history.
Hello, and thank you for listening today. Give us a call if you do want to discuss Bible prophecy, 808-296-5467. We are live. It is, what's the date today, Terry?
27th, September 27th, 2008.
And I'm Garrett Paul Parrish, joined by Terry Cation, and we're going to be going through the book of Revelation here. And if you want to jump in the conversation at any point, give us that call, 808-296-5467. And I want to start the show out by reading a few messages, email messages, and just to let listeners know where we are coming from, just to think up, passages that you might want to point out to us that need to be addressed for an answer or to rebut what in rebuttal to what we're saying. We are saying, just to make it clear, that the last days were the last days of the Old Covenant, that we are not living in the last days. And that should stir up some questions. Give us a call if you want to discuss where we're coming from, how we're coming from this position, 808-296-5467. So we would say the last days today, what's being, taught and read and written, for the most part, is nothing but imagination. You'd have to come to that conclusion if the last days were the last days of the Old Covenant in the first century. So nothing but imaginations and fiction, science fiction, really. And that's why the books, the record-selling books, you'll find are in the fiction section related to the last days, because we believe that's maybe prophetic. It's fiction. It's made up. It's storytelling. So we would like to reevaluate what we've been told long enough, loud enough, at least for the last 100 years in America particularly, that we are living in the last days is what we're told, and we're here to say that no, we are not. So give us a call if you want to discuss these matters further, 808-296-5467. And I want to read a few emails, people that are really getting the message we're giving. It's not a message that, you can get with 3 points in a rah-rah cheering session, in 15 minutes. You have to search the Scriptures yourself to see if these things are so. So it takes some time and effort to search the Scriptures daily. And it's not an overnight event to have the revelation or the lights go on, what we like to say, people just getting it, without putting some effort into it. So you're going to have to search the Scriptures daily to see if what we're saying is so, with all readiness of mind, open-mindedness, right?
That's right.
So here's a few emails from Randy in Tucson. He says, I definitely do not know as much as you guys, but I am very interested, making it a point to study these days, and having a wrong view really has an adverse effect of what is ministered to God's people. It either becomes depressing, exclusive, a hope deferred, making the heart sick. I mean, there's some sick Christians, right, Terry?
Yep, sure is.
And probably the saddest part is that this is what is truly going on in the hearts and ministers and pastors, and even affects the word of prophet in a skewed, bad way.
Yes.
As well. So that's blessings, Randy, in Tucson. We have Tom in Oahu. He says, I listen on the radio. I walk through Waikiki daily for an hour. I used to listen to MP3, but I heard you on one day, and I switched to KGU for a change. I remembered the website and looked it up, and when I got home, he goes on to talk about other programs he used to listen to, and then he says, the timing was great. I read the Bible daily. I read for about half an hour in the Old Testament, half an hour in the New Testament. I'm rereading the Apocalypse Code by Hank Hanegraaff, and happened to be finishing up Revelation, my daily reading, when I discovered your program. Keep up the good work. God bless you and your family. And another email, he says, I've been enjoying your Revelation program recordings. Just to let people know that people are getting it. We feel this is an open door that God has made, and it's going to do nothing but expand and influence. So let people know you can take part in what we're doing. You can support us because we can't, expand without, support, which you can do on our website, BibleProphecyFulfilled.org. Go to support. And so, again, Todd in Oahu says, "Dear family at Bible Prophecy Fulfilled," I'm just reading parts of the emails.
Sure.
Thank you very much for your ministry and the work, work for God's kingdom. I believe I have benefited very much from your work. Thanks again for your time, thoughts, and care to share this great news. Todd, Millie Lonnie. So there's tons more of exchange we have with people asking questions. So just going to kind of give some overview of just some comments of people that are getting it. Again, Todd says a big mahalo. Thanks, Gary, for spending your time to answer my questions. Again, we've had a lot of exchange over the internet through emails. Thank you again for your time, thoughts, and care to share this great news. That's Todd again. Anyway, here's Tim in Tucson. What is it? Oh, I'm not going to read that part. Okay. Why do you think there's such a small following of preterism? Of course, we answered that. Sensationalism, basically. And, sensationalism sells, really.
Sure does.
If this is the true way of understanding the future, then it looks like the church has been looking through a dark sheet of glass at this knowledge. I know I need to study more. Push me to a local help here in Tucson. That'd be Terry, local help in Tucson.
Hotel Arizona.
Hotel Arizona, Sunday mornings at 10, 181 West Broadway, right?
Right, in the Manzanita room.
Okay.
And so all our Tucson listeners, if you want to come and hear the truth of God and understand where we are today and God's prophetic timetable, come and meet with us and enjoy Jesus and His presence, right?
Yeah. So that's good stuff. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. And here's another email, Yvonne in the state of Washington. A little longer. I just had to take a minute to share something God did through your message titled Shadowland. That's on the website. In the archive, I've been concerned about a Christian friend of mine who appears to believe we are living in a time when both the Old Covenant and New Covenants are active and should be observed. The other day, after receiving a disturbing letter from her, I reached for my MP3 player to listen to your program entitled End Times Gospel. But when I pushed the button player, it started to play in the middle of your program, Shadowland, right at the section where Terry and you were discussing the Judaizers and how easy it can be that we can fall back under the law. A feast here, and pretty soon we're observing the law again. Wow, I almost drove into the ditch. I was so blessed. It was just what I needed to hear when I needed it most. God is so great! Exclamation point! Amazing how something you recorded a couple years ago can still reach across the Pacific and help me know how to better pray for her and give my biblical counsel to her and how to begin to show her the truth of the established new kingdom covenant. Again, I thank you for your work. May God bless everyone in your ministry, and may He expand your circle even farther than on the West Coast.
Wow.
Rejoicing in Him, Yvonne. And that's in Washington. Here's Judy in Oregon. She says, thank God for you guys. We need more people exposing futurism and teaching preterism. And futurism would be that the events in Revelation, the Olivet Discourse, are yet future. Preterist, where we get the Spanish word, preterist tense, just that these are past events. That's the breakdown and definition of those terms. So then she goes on to say, it has changed my life, and now the pieces of the puzzle go in like butter instead of me trying to force them where they don't belong. That's a real good description of what's going on.
It's really true.
With the Word of God, putting a square peg in a round hole, really. Thank you so much for your radio program. This is Mark in Tucson. I've been coming out of the dispensational fog for some time now. Your program is refreshing. I thoroughly appreciate how you fellows tied Jesus into the discussion. He is the fulfillment of the entire Old Covenant. What tremendous good news! Exclamation point. That's Mark in Tucson. Rick's in Florida. And just a brief thing, he says a lot, but there is a great need of ministries like yours that broadcast the actual truth of fulfillment. Yvonne in Washington, just a brief comment. I had to write and tell you how much of an encouragement the Bible Prophecy Program has been to me. Wow, what an encouragement those first 2 or 3 shows where I loved hearing from John Noe and your friend Terry from Arizona spoke such promise and hope. And that is the message, a gospel of hope and not a gospel of gloom and doom. So that's just a little bit of encouragement. Didn't David encourage himself? In the Lord.
In the Lord.
He did. So that's a little bit what we're doing. And feel free, you can encourage us and support us. Go to our website, Bible Prophecy Fulfilled, and go to click support on the upper right corner. And you can go through PayPal. And we are laboring with our own hands and doing it night and day. And the Lord is providing. And He's also opening up doors. So if we want to go through those doors, you can help us do that. Go to BibleProphecyFulfilled.org, and you can be part of what we're doing. So appreciate those of you who are supporting us, and we will continue to go through this open door that God has given and with this message. And it's very encouraging for people that have been just where we've been. The doom and gloom that's being taught out there, and it's really an interpretive system, a manufactured prophetic system that needs to be dismantled. And that's what we are here to do. And we're here to reason together. We got a great phone call after the show last week, just with a brother to reason together. Well, how can this be? I don't agree with this and that. And we had a peaceable, yet disagreeing on things, yet sharpening swords, really, and saying, well, let's look at this differently. Let's look at this way, and let's dig in deeper here. And it was a peaceful conversation. So feel free if you want to jump into our conversation. 808-296-5467. So you want to throw anything in here, Terry?
Well, I just was really impressed by what one of the letters that stated how having a viewpoint of that we're living in the last days just fogs everything up and impacts the way we live. I mean, I've been a Christian since 1975, and I can't even count how many times I've heard that the Lord was coming any minute, and get ready, and just how this whole idea just usurps any kind of planning or developing or improving your life to become an impact for the next generation.
Yeah.
And, we should be Christians that are preparing for generations ahead to have a godly influence upon wherever we live.
Yeah.
And, this idea that we're, God's getting ready to wrap this thing up, it's getting ready to end, things are going to get worse and worse and worse. There's no vision in that. It's just blindness completely. And there's no preparation in the heart on a corporate level to be able to impact society and transform society the way God intended us to be, salt and light to the world.
And leaven.
Oh, amen.
Leaven, kingdom of heaven is like leaven. And we're even not wrong on that.
Yeah.
So, again, that influence, again, if you want to go in history, look at the reformers. They did not have a last days mindset. They had a mindset of transforming civilization. And guess what? They did. They built our civilization. They turned the world upside down because they